Sergey Lavrov in Malaysia. Strategic Diplomacy and Regional Realignments, July 11, 2025, by AZLAN ADNAN, MA. Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov concluded a high-profile working visit to Malaysia from July 8 to 11, 2025, in conjunction with the 58th ASEAN Foreign Ministers Meeting, AMM, in Kuala Lumpur. His presence underscored Moscow's renewed diplomatic vigor in Southeast Asia, reflecting a clear effort to deepen regional ties, promote multilateralism, and assert Russia's relevance in an evolving Asia-Pacific order. Lavrov's engagement centered on reaffirming Russia's strategic commitment to ASEAN. He described the Russia-ASEAN relationship as a truly reliable friendship that contributes to the broader stability of the region. To that end, Lavrov introduced an updated Russia-ASEAN policy document covering the period 2026 to 2030, which emphasizes shared adherence to international law under the UN Charter and the principle of ASEAN centrality. The paper outlines key areas of collaboration, ranging from energy and connectivity to digital governance and disaster preparedness. A particularly notable aspect of Lavrov's visit was his unequivocal endorsement of Malaysia's bid to join BRICS, the emerging market grouping comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and several new members. Lavrov stressed that Russia supports Malaysia's aspirations to become part of the expanded grouping and will continue lobbying for its inclusion. He made this declaration even though the current chair of BRICS is Brazil, not Russia, a distinction he acknowledged while pledging to coordinate support among existing members. His remarks came just days after the 17th BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, where membership expansion remained a central theme. On the sidelines of the ASEAN meeting, Lavrov held an unusually candid conversation with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The two men discussed the ongoing wars in Ukraine and Syria, as well as nuclear tensions with Iran. Lavrov reiterated Moscow's view that global issues must be resolved through dialogue rooted in mutual respect, not coercion. Though no joint communiqué was issued, diplomatic observers noted the symbolic importance of direct U.S.-Russia engagement occurring within an ASEAN-led platform. Lavrov's bilateral talks with Malaysian Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Hassan focused on enhancing education, science, and cultural cooperation. Both sides agreed to significantly increase the number of Malaysian students placed in Russian technical and vocational education institutions, particularly under the TVET initiative. Lavrov proposed expanding scholarships and academic exchange programs in fields such as engineering, space science, and cybersecurity, areas where Russia continues to retain a technological edge. The two ministers also revisited the long-standing issue of the Southeast Asia Nuclear Weapon-Free Zone, SEANWFZ Treaty. Lavrov expressed Moscow's renewed willingness to engage in substantive negotiations to accede to the treaty, which prohibits the deployment, development, or use of nuclear weapons in Southeast Asia. While Russia has not signed the treaty due to prior reservations regarding verification clauses, Lavrov's remarks suggest a potential diplomatic breakthrough, one that ASEAN countries have long advocated. Institutional ties were another key theme of the visit. Lavrov and Hassan agreed to revive the Malaysia-Russia Joint Commission on Education, Science, Technology, and Culture, a mechanism that had remained dormant since the pandemic. Plans were also announced to establish formal links between Russia's Diplomatic Academy and Malaysia's Institute of Diplomacy and Foreign Relations, IDFR, aimed at strengthening mutual training, research, and language programs. These initiatives mark a deliberate pivot towards soft power instruments at a time when hard power competition is escalating in the region. The broader significance of Lavrov's visit lies in its timing and tone. As Southeast Asia navigates great power rivalries between the United States and China, Russia is presenting itself as a third vector, less dominant but potentially stabilizing. By supporting Malaysia's ambitions in multilateral forums like BRICS, offering educational and technological partnerships, and signaling openness to regional disarmament goals, Moscow is clearly repositioning itself in ASEAN's strategic calculus. The emphasis on multilateralism, mutual respect, and institutional cooperation resonates with Malaysia's long-standing foreign policy preferences. For Malaysia, Lavrov's visit validated its effort to maintain an independent and multi-aligned diplomatic posture. In a geopolitical environment marked by intensifying rivalry, Kuala Lumpur's engagement with Moscow allows it to diversify partnerships without becoming beholden to any single major power. Lavrov's remarks and agreements suggest that Russia is willing to play by ASEAN's rules, prioritizing dialogue over diktat and cooperation over competition. In sum, Lavrov's Kuala Lumpur visit marked more than a routine diplomatic stop. It served as a statement of intent: Russia's intent to remain an active and relevant actor in Southeast Asia, and Malaysia's intent to engage the world on its own terms. As the region continues to evolve, the outcomes of this visit may well shape the contours of a more multipolar, more diplomatically agile Asia-Pacific. A heartfelt light. To every soul whose hand did give, you've helped me dream, helped me live. In darkest hours your light came through, with hearts so kind, so pure, so true. Your gifts, like stars in deepest night, have steered me gently toward the light. Each coin, each word, each silent prayer, a thread of hope so rich, so rare. My eyes once dimmed now seek the skies, and slowly clearer visions rise. Because of you, I dare to see the world again. Its grace, its plea. Your compassion's flame will not just stay with me alone. It lights the way for others wandering through despair to feel the warmth of selfless care. You've shown what love in action means, in quiet ways through giving scenes. You've built a bridge from soul to soul and made the broken feel more whole. So let this thanks rise like a song, a melody both soft and strong. May your example gently call more hearts to rise to give. To fall into the joy of lifting pain, of planting hope where none remains. Your kindness walks beside me still, a light, a love, a living will.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to show your support.